welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the next check-in with this meniscus repair. So I'm at 2 weeks today. 2 weeks ago on Friday is when I had the procedure done. Gave you a couple check-ins, like 5-day, 7-day kind of check-ins. Took a little bit of a break from doing some filming content because I was doing a little bit of traveling, and here we are. We're back for the 2-week check-in. I've been excited for the 2-week check-in just to see where my progress is at, where my pain level is, where my mobility is at, to be able to describe what some of my challenges have been. But really, the 2-week mark for me has been a milestone for increasing the number of exercises I'm doing in my rehab program. Again, it hasn't been easy for me mentally, okay, to be so restricted, even though I have had very little pain, knowing that I'm healing from the inside out and that pain is not just the only thing to use as a marker for how much I should push myself. It's been challenging to remain patient, but I'm remaining patient. Okay, so first check-in. Here's the first sort of new addition to what's going on. I went to Walmart, got myself just like a regular low-level compression sleeve, in the realm of support, little, medium, high support. It's little support, but what it's providing for me isn't physical support. It's providing for me a reminder that I've had this surgery, a reminder that when I'm walking around, be patient, be slow. All right, for instance, I walked out of my door the other day and there's a couple short steps. The height of the steps is not what I would consider the average height of a step. They're a little bit more shallow. And I was carrying some bags in my hand, some trash, and I just started walking down the steps like normal. And my knee's not ready for that. Yeah, I can bend my knee a little bit, but I can't just weight bear completely, bend and flex that knee and come down over it. I'm still stepping down, stepping down, stepping down. So I said to myself, hey, maybe you need just a little reminder, okay? So here we are. What I pay, like 12 bucks or something. It's like basically like a sock, but it's on there and it's nice. It's nice that like I said, it's giving me that reminder. So I'm gonna take this off and then kind of go through where I'm at with my pain mobility, and just kind of show you what walking is like and describe to you a few things that I've experienced in this last week or so. So yes, I definitely have an increased range of motion on my knee. I can more easily approach 90 degrees with less restriction. And I didn't have a lot of, let's say, pain approaching 90 degrees during the last check-in around day 7, day 9. But what I did have was a lot of what I would describe as pressure. Like I can feel maybe two things is what I'm assuming. I can feel that inside that joint, maybe along the meniscus, not necessarily visible swelling, but internal swelling. I could feel what might be pressure from that, but also, hasn't been that long, but I can feel, yeah, you can see how I'm putting my shoe back on. I really am not bending that knee a lot yet. I still have to really reach all the way down. But, stiffness in the musculature and in like the tendon, like my patella tendon across the front of my knee. I could feel, as I would go to bend my knee, especially on the heel drags, getting that hamstring going. As I would get right about here or so, shallow of 90, well, I guess this is greater than 90, excuse me, more like what, maybe like 120 or something. I would feel like some pull and some drag, especially here at the top of the knee. And so a lot of that has gone away. And so now with the heel drags, I can quite comfortably get myself to 90 degrees. And I don't have any pain, and I really don't have any stiffness. Now, when I wake up in the morning, all right, and I get out of bed, I feel a lot more stiff in general in the knee than I do an hour after I've been up and moving around. And so that's something I would expect, to probably be here for most of this 6 to 8 week recovery period, and maybe even for a little bit longer after. But I'm also expecting that the amount of stiffness that I have will reduce as the healing continues and as I continue to explore range of motion and I'm able to get back to what feels like a regular flexibility routine. So a couple of reps, pretty easy to 90. Okay, so that's been going really well. In general, discomfort or pain, you know, at the incision sites, I do have some tenderness if I touch with my hands, but I've been massaging those areas to help get rid of that scar tissue or smooth it out, and so that hasn't been a problem. Bruising, it did finally, I mentioned in a previous video, I had a little like what seemed like visible bruising above the knee and it started to drop, so now at the 2-week mark you can see the progression of bruising. Oftentimes it looks worse as it's getting better, and that's what we're seeing here. So, you know, I've got some more discoloration. It's starting to drop way down into my lower leg. But again, here I'm doing a little bit of massage as well, just to help increase circulation. And even with that compression sleeve I've worn a few times, that's moved some of that bruising and blood around beneath the surface of the skin. So all in all, I would say I'm very fortunate. I haven't had a lot of pain really with anything. I'm still doing all the same nutritional ideas I put forth in that other video. So I'm still eating a lot of pineapple, the high enzyme foods, papaya, making papaya pudding, just mixing papaya with a little bit of cinnamon, nutmeg, and coconut milk. That's a recipe my wife taught me. I'm trying to eat skin when possible. So for instance, with the kiwis, I'm eating skin on. You know, these are preferences that sometimes we shy away from. Really, skin on any fruit if we can do it. Like an apple, don't peel it. If you got an apple, just clean it. Eat the skin, you get a lot more color, a lot more fiber, the phytonutrient content, the micronutrient content. A lot of that lives higher in the skin. So same with the kiwi. So I'm on the papaya, the pineapple, and the kiwi still. Oxtail or high collagen bone-in meats, still doing those. All right, so you know, the basic stuff, bolstering regular nutrition, it can't hurt. It's got to be helping. I mean, the science is there to back these reasons. So anyhow, the pain has been very little, and I'm going to say the range of motion is definitely coming back. I just showed you with the knee drags, but if I don't know if I did this in a previous video, but if I would just use my hip flexor and just draw that knee up, my knee would hang more here before. Again, I don't know if I showed that in the video, but now when I draw my knee up, it just hangs to 90. And that, I would say, has been the most significant change that's allowed me to start walking what feels like with way more ease. And I demoed sort of, you know, it's pretty controlled in this room, taking smaller steps. Show you from the side. But when I get out, you know, when I get outside and I've got to walk on uneven ground, sidewalk, cracks, heights, curbs. There's some brick pavers in this community that I walk through. You know, the ground's not perfectly level, and so any little nuance where my foot might catch the ground, if I don't have like the normal amount of ground clearance, that's quite arduous. And then after 10 minutes or so of walking, it would start to get more uncomfortable in my knee. I would feel a little bit of swelling or a little pressure inside the knee. And so I would start to kind of get back to leaning so I could swing my leg, because I didn't have the freedom in that knee and the comfort to just pick up, draw forward, create more clearance on the ground, and then engage for the next stride. And so that's starting to come back. Walking up steps, different than walking down. Walking up steps, I can bring that leg forward with that knee that can hang a little bit loose now and engage the step. So going up, right around day, I started kind of finagling with going up steps around 1 week, and I probably should have held back a little bit more. You know, if I would go up a flight of steps 5 or 6 times a day, I might do 1 time stepping on both. But again, it didn't look good. I had to really kind of manipulate my body, leaning a lot, supporting with a rail. Now though, you know, at the 2-week mark, I can walk. I don't have a staircase to show you here, but I can walk up steps slowly. I don't have to lean to pick the leg up. I can just draw the leg forward. I can put full weight on it, and I can transition over to my right. So feeling really good about that. Going down steps, not the case. Going down steps, I'm still leading down with the left so I can keep the knee straight. I'm finding that to have the knee flexed, to have it loaded, and then continue on down to the next step below, that deeper transition. As I'm not ready for that yet. So I'm being a lot more patient with the going down, okay? So just a quick review, some of the exercises I had in my 1 to 2 week beginning phase of rehab. Now these are exercises that were given to me by the surgeon that I saw. I did go online, of course, and I checked out some references to see what else there were for options. And I chatted with a few of my friends that are in the fitness industry, physical therapists. And yeah, there was a lot of overlap. The things that I was doing already definitely approved as good exercises. And there were some other things that I could try, but honestly, I just kind of kept it to the base 4. I felt like I was happy with the 4 exercises that I had. And again, I'm trying to not do too much. I'm trying to do what will work, what's been shown to work, but remain very cautious and very patient. Okay, so I'm not getting ready for an NFL game. There's no big timeline rush for me to get back. I'm not making millions of dollars off of this knee, and I'm certainly not spending hundreds of $1,000s on experimental practices that might help me heal faster. I'm not saying those are bad. I'm just saying I don't have those resources to take advantage of. So with all of the options I have in front of me, taking a very methodical, very thoughtful approach and a very patient approach has been my path. And so just sharing that with you. Again, quick review. So I had the exercise where I would just tense my quad and work on muscle contraction, 5-second holds, and relax. Okay, I had exercises where I was dragging the heel on the ground. Again, it's another muscle activation exercise, a little bit of circulation and mobility for the knee, but drawing the heel into the floor, shortening the hamstring, okay, to activate. I had ankle pumps, and I've been doing those 2 ways, heel on the floor with the knee moving in and out, and flexing the quad to support the knee extension while I do them. And then I had a 4th exercise where I would take a light weight, and I found this one to be very beneficial, where I would take a light weight, I would put that foot up, elevated, sometimes even elevate the foot higher than what I'm sitting on, put a weight on top of the knee, help it drag down so that it was flat. And all of that has been very beneficial. I would say all of those exercises have really helped me, 1, just to feel confident because I'm exercising. 2, it's helped me feel like I'm not losing too much muscle in the knee, or in the quad, especially in the VMO. If you've experienced any bone breaks or any significant injuries and you're out of commission for a while, you feel that. The tenacity goes down, the muscle gets soft, you flex it hard, and it just doesn't have that get up and go. So it's been really nice to keep those in. Some things I started adding in though, right at the end of that 1 week, I started adding calf raises. That was a significant increase. I started doing 2-legged calf raises. I started doing 1-leg calf raises. I wasn't having any pain, so I added those in. And so some other things now that I'm into this 2nd week and where I'll be going week 3, week 4, week 5. So I started doing hamstring curls. These are just standing hamstring curls. Really, there's just one way that I'm doing it. I'm keeping my knee back, and then I'm using the hamstring to curl the leg. I'm holding for 5 seconds, and then letting it down and repeat. So a hamstring curl, it's just gravity is the weight of the leg. But again, they're 5-second holds, and then I release. And again, I'm making sure that the knee doesn't travel forward. I'm drawing back into extension, getting that glute involved. Okay. So something like this, not too crazy. I'm doing adduction work. And so in this gym here, I just have a couple of blocks with a band wrapped around them. They're, like wedge blocks for doing squats on. So anyhow, I just band a few of them together so I have an object. And then I'm doing isometric contractions against the blocks. And all these exercises that are really about just sort of regaining that contraction, regaining a feel and some tenacity in the muscle. I'm just doing the same type of approach, 5-second holds, and I'm doing as many as 20 reps in a set. So, you know, it takes a little while to get through. All right. But having just done these a couple of times, it's like, wow, you know, the way that this adductor on this left side is being engaged throughout my day compared to my right has changed. And I'm getting quite sore on this muscle compared to my right side. So, you know, it's quite eye-opening, I think, in two ways. You know, one, before I had the surgery, I was really favoring this knee. You know, it wouldn't take long for me walking around throughout the day before that knee would get pretty inflamed. I play regular golf and I play disc golf, so both of those are walking sports. We're putting a few miles on, and I'd get halfway through a round, and this puppy would start barking at me. I'd have to take the rest of the round real slow. I'd limp a lot. I was icing a lot at night, and so getting back to some of these exercises that, you know, I was doing before surgery, but still I was compensating in such an interesting way that you kind of lose sight of. You know, our body wants to get us from point A to point B, and man, things change when you're trying to accomplish that. We get these compensation patterns. Okay, so adduction squeezes. All right, that's two exercises. The third exercise I've gotten back to are wall sits. Now, I'm not taking this all the way down to 90 degrees at the knee. All right, I'm starting to get closer to 90, but I've been really close to this, what we'll say is the halfway point to 90, okay? And I'm sitting here, I'm doing 30-second sets, not pushing this one too far yet, but I'm really trying to be conscious of weight distribution. It's easy for me to stay heavy on the right side, and so I'm really thinking about left foot drive. And I really feel how this pulls all around the knee, which I'm quite happy with. It feels a lot different than the quad extension drill does, where I feel that really high up in the quad. This, I'm starting to get a lot more action down here again. So wall sits for 30 seconds. Okay, again, trying to get off of this right foot a little and really lead into my left again. Okay, excellent. And then another exercise I'm doing are band assisted, or band resisted, I should say, knee extensions. This one's pretty easy to set up. You just take a resistance band, anchor it to something close to knee height. Okay, I step inside the band, and I put the band up on the back of the knee, like so. Okay, so now this band is pulling my knee forward. See if I can get it like that, and you can see. But that band is now pulling my left knee forward, and so all I'm gonna do is straighten that knee out, which will pull against the resistance of the band. Let that knee flex in and pull back. 5-second holds. Let the knee flex in. Pull that knee back. Pull that knee back, push that heel down, get that knee straight, flex the quad. Let's do 2 more. Not sure how well this is coming through on the camera, y'all. I'm gonna have to change my angle for you. Let's do 1 more. So I start the program with the original 4 exercises. Really helps get that knee to move a little bit, get that circulation, make sure I can get my knee straight, and then I've been moving into these exercises here. Okay, excellent. And the last groups of movements I've been doing are just leg raises in all 4 directions. So I'm trying to take advantage of flexion, extension, AB and AD. So it's just a matter of coming out and holding. And this gives me a little adductor activation I don't normally feel or haven't felt in a while. Out to the side. Ooh, losing balance. Here we go. And out to the back. And I'm doing this for both legs, right? So it's not just engaging these muscles here. And then let me show you adduction for a moment. So adduction, I've been pushing from behind, and I've also done adduction. See, it's just the leg, I'm not twisting. And then I've also done adduction from the front where I'm just drawing across. I just want to feel that action, and I want to feel it in a few different ways, a few different positions. Okay, but anyhow, front, back, side, and side. And again, I'm doing it on both legs, because getting on this leg and standing, all right, engaging the muscles has its own, like I feel that a bit in my knee when I transition around, has its own sets of challenges and compensations that I need to work through. So these are the new additions. I've got the hamstring curl, I've got the wall sit, the adduction squeeze on the blocks. I've got the knee straightening against the band. And I've got the multi-directional leg raise. They're all going really well. We're starting into week 2. I got a follow up with the doc coming up this week. I'll check in with you after I see the doc and see what they say. One last thing I'll note, just about this knee sleeve. Again, I mentioned it kind of at the start of the video. It's really here to give me a little bit of a reminder, some awareness. The support level is very low. And I just wanted to note, I take it off during my rehab, all right? I don't want external support from anything while I'm rebuilding and rehabbing my knee. I want to fully understand where this knee is at, what it's capable of, what it's not capable of, what's going to bother me a little bit along the way. I don't take any pain medication. I did a few days into recovery because I needed it. I was able to get off of it as quickly as I could, but especially around your rehab, do not take any pain medication. You want to get the most amount of feedback from the condition of the knee, okay, or whatever your injury is. You want to know what's really going on. Masking the pain to be able to force your way through some rehab program, it just may not be the best case scenario. You may do a little more than you should have done because it didn't feel as bad as you thought it would. So anyhow, I take this bad boy off, I go through my rehab, I'll put it back on for the walk home, and then I'll take it off when I ice. And I'm still doing that ice. I'm icing after my rehabs. I'm icing throughout the day if I've walked a lot. Some of my days I walk quite a bit more than other days. I stopped icing as I go to bed. I've really just done a little bit of ice around any movement that I do. All right, y'all, it's a bit of a longer one. If you take the time to run through these videos with me, God bless you for taking the time. Hopefully you learn a little something. And you know, again, if you got any feedback from me, you got some questions, hey, don't hesitate. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Trying to get some content for y'all, trying to get some people on this channel, trying to figure out what y'all like and what you're interested in, how I can help you out. So anyhow, knee check-in. I'll drop a second video that kind of shows each exercise one at a time. We'll see you soon.